Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage. Welcome back to episode 18 of Crusader Kings 2. And I'd like to start by thanking an eagle-eyed viewer. I'm going to mess your name up here, but Magus THD13, who correctly spotted that quite some time ago we actually managed to, if I click on the right button, inherit the Duchy of Tuscany. I hadn't even noticed this had happened. And as we have been ruling since 839, we had both of these duchies. So we've actually had both of these duchies since we came to power, and I hadn't even noticed. And that is the reason why we were getting the warning about a title loss on succession, because we had two different duchies. Each one had a different heir, essentially. And now, what I do find weird, because as far as I was aware, I should be able to see the law for both duchies here, and I can't. The inheritance law for the kingdom is still Gavelkind. The inheritance law for Ferrara, which is our capital duchy, is elective. But also the law for the other duchy, if I find it again, this is also elective as well. So as it says there, line of successors, agnatic, cognatic, elective. And William Luke is the heir for both. So we're not going to lose anything there. Although it's still giving us that inheritance warning, but that's for a random baroness that we've got somewhere else. So normally what you want to try and do in this situation is stick to one duchy, because that way you just have one set of laws and you can gobble up all of these extra counties. As long as you don't have an extra duchy, they will all remain the vassals of your heir and next ruler. It gets a little bit more tricky when you've got several duchies. Now, the best way to get out of that is to have a kingdom. So there's two ways we could do this. We could try and take enough of Lombardy so that we could actually try and usurp the Kingdom of Lombardy title. Now, the good thing about doing that is it would actually give me a CB against every single county that is de jure county of Lombardy. Because we can say, look, we're your rightful king, you should be our vassal. Of course, it also gives you the option just to go to those counties and go, I'm your rightful king, be my vassal. You can just ask them diplomatically to become your vassal, and they may agree to do so. The other option is we form our own kingdom, and if we form our own kingdom, we don't get any of the CBs, which is unfortunate. Either way, to do either of them, we would need to be independent from our liege. And there's a certain advantage to staying as a duke beneath the King of Lombardy, because this basically means that if we want to take these counties, we can just declare war on individual counts and individual dukes, and we don't have to worry about going to war with the King of Lombardy himself. I'm not too bothered about doing that, although he does have some pretty powerful allies and a rather large force at the moment. But the point is, if we were an independent king and we were trying to take land from Lombardy, we'd have to declare war, take a county, maybe a duchy if we're lucky, and then we'd have a truce which would have to wait out before we could attack again. At the current rate, we can just constantly keep gobbling up these individual little counties. So I think we'll stay this way for the time being, as we don't have to worry too much about succession. One thing we definitely want to try and do, though, is pick up all of the counties that are within these duchies for ourselves. So Tuscany is... Which one is Tuscany? Oh, let's go just make sure we are on de jure duchies. And I can't remember where Tuscany is, so you'll have to bear with me. This is Tuscany here. So Siena, Florence, and... which one's this one? Lucca. So we have a domain size of 7. So we want to be the holder of all 3 of those, really, and all 3 of these. Because if we hold them all, then we control all of the voting power. So you're just a random vassal. So what are the extra ones that I control then? I control Lombardy up here, but I've got 7 provinces, so I control some of these as well, which I should probably give away. So I could definitely usurp some of these titles. Of course, I could revoke them. The problem is, if I went and did this, we'd lose prestige, which I'm not all that bothered about. But other vassals' opinion of us would drop. So we're not going to force the issue, but if any of this territory finds its way back to us, then we will hang on to the ones that are in our duchies. Because at the moment, if you actually look at the law, there are... Well, actually, it's only Anselm and William that can vote as well. So there aren't that many. It's only the dukes, so we're okay. We're fine. So let us go ahead and unpause the game, because we've already been going for 5 minutes. We haven't done anything yet. So people are withdrawing support for plots. That's fantastic. We're still trying to work on another claim or two down here, so we can grab some more land. So what are we working on here? This is Urbino. So can we declare a war for that? We don't have the CB yet. But you should be the... Yeah, you're the Duchess. So we need to get that CB before we can do anything. So we will see that we do have the option in Intrigue to, somewhere, form a new kingdom. Now, we have to be an independent ruler, and we have to hold 3 duchy titles, or have a realm size of at least 35. Well, our realm size is 43, so that's not a problem. So we could form a new kingdom. We meet all the requirements apart from being independent. So we'd have to fight for independence in order to do that one. But it certainly is a possibility. The other one that you could do is to kingdom, is usurp the title. But you cannot create a usurper title in the same or higher rank as your lieges. So once again, we'd need to be independent in order to do that. If we go ahead and have a look at our liege, I've just done pause again. We've got this new little king here. But he still has 5,500 troops. He doesn't have any pacts at the moment. So, and he is defending in a war. So that is... Who's just returned to the council? That is my marshal. So you can go and train troops in the capital. That'll certainly help. My steward is being less than useful right now. So who is this? This is our son. This is Andy. So we can teach him to be less nosy. Or give him some practice reading. Let's give him some practice reading. Request council support. And again, I'm going to decline on these. I wish... this is what I'm trying to decide at the moment. What is the best thing to do here? Is it to try and become independent? I think what we should do is stay part of the kingdom just for a while longer and just see if we can grab some more land. Our marshal has come with a suggestion. It is our opinion that Mayor Pemo would make an excellent military commander. Oh, a commander? Well, sure. No reason not to. It's only a commander request. So we've got quite a bit of land now. But yeah, we really want to be controlling all of the counties within both of our duchies. It's the more important to have control of all of the counties within your capital duchy, because you get more levy from the counties that are in your capital duchy. Or, I should say, you get a penalty to levies in any counties you hold outside of your capital duchy. So it's better controlling all of the ones within. So we're improving relations with the Pope. How much do you like me? 21, you like me a little bit. Would you give me some money? You would say no. We've got the piety, so you probably don't have the 280... Oh, you have the money. You just wouldn't do it. We are being invited to go carousing with somebody, so sure, let's go ahead and do that. We've got a weak claim that can be pressed. But that countess is already part of a inheritance warning. Liege's Council is discontent. We've still got a lot of raised levies. I'd kind of like those to burn away a little bit, to be honest, just so we have a bit better opinion with our vassals. Because not all of them have the greatest of opinion of us. Particularly this guy. Why don't you like me? You are a powerful vassal. You want a seat on the council. Who's my current steward? This guy, who is a stewardship of 16 and is secluded. So you have a stewardship of 18. You would be a better steward. I cannot deny that. So let's go ahead and appoint you. So now you'll be happy. And you can go and collect taxes in the capital, because you're not actually secluded there. +1 diplomacy and +10 general opinion. Very nice. Now, one thing I did just want to check there as well. We had another vassal who was a powerful vassal, and that is just the one, it looks like. Which is you. Also, why are you... Is a major vassal and expects to be on the council, except you're a woman and I don't think you can have a council position. But you're a powerful vassal. What are your stats? You are mainly stewardship, but you're just going to have to deal with things. You actually like us. You actually quite like us. Liege's cruel, craven, lunatic. That is true. We are a cruel, craven lunatic. So that can often lead to some interesting stuff. But we do have fairly decent diplomacy. King of Lombardy has agreed to increase the power of the council. Let's see if we can actually get this white stag for once. What are our chances of actually getting this claim? 15% per year. Hopefully we can get that pretty quickly. Let's go off and get it. What's this purple? Does this actually belong to... Yeah, it all does belong to the Byzantine Empire. Byzantine's spreading out. It'd be nice if we could be friends with them. Bit of carousing. Your court physician has shared some of his latest ideas with me. I do not know much of medicine, but perhaps he is onto something. He has asked me for some money to develop his theory further and write a book on it. 37 gold. Sure. Let's make sure our physician continues to like me. During your time on the hunt, you come to a deep gorge. Right on the other side is the white stag staring at you. You are close, yet you cannot reach it. As it runs away, you realise you must return home without a victory this time. Now I know my purpose in life. So we could become a hunter, +2 martial, +1 diplomacy, and some extra pursuit. Sure, let's be a hunter. My wife is pregnant. Just going to pause up a moment. Can we... Right, do you like me at all? No, you don't like me. It's probably because I'm a lunatic. Attraction to lunatic, kind versus cruel, brave versus craven. Attraction, he's actually a homosexual. It's a shame we can't sort of suck up to him. It would be nice to get him on board as an ally, but no, we'll do what we can still. So, yeah, party's still going on. So we're getting people actually quite like us. You don't like us. You're the heir to the Duchy of Spoleto. That's fine. Need some more prestige. But most of our vassals now actually do like us. There's a few that don't. A couple of random mayors and things like that. And again, this is another good thing about becoming a king. If you become a king, you pretty much just have duke tier vassals and give all of the lower level vassals to sort of counts, so that you don't actually have to worry about opinion of random mayors and barons and bishops and things like that. You are sitting on the floor of your bedchamber, wearing one of your shoes as a hat, when suddenly a man-sized gopher enters the room. It is dressed as a maid. When you shout in alarm, the rodent squeaks and skitters away in panic. You chase it down the hall, but find only a terrified maid cowering on the floor. Well, we lose 20 prestige there for being a lunatic. Mission to Rome has been a success. He likes us a little bit more. Would you give me some money? Maybe. I will ask. And we are a lunatic. His quest is denied. Ah. Well, that was nice of him, wasn't it? Just because I'm a lunatic. I'm sure half of the people in the Catholic Church are. To the Masterful Duke Anselm, I am Sheik Chancellor Marshal of Emir, I don't know who. Your skill as Marshal on the Council of King of Lombardy is known far and wide. I implore you to advise me in the matters of politics so that I may serve my liege. So, we've got an option to become a friend here with someone from the Sunni Empire, and that could be useful later on. So become close friends, so he owes us a favour. I was later told that my strange behaviour and fear of the moon was caused by the voices in my head. The priest managed to clear my head of voices, and now I have total silence. We lose the trait lunatic. Yes! I know lunatic does give you some interesting options later down the line, but I didn't want to be a lunatic. I'm not even sure how we ended up with that. It'd just be nice to get rid of the craven now. We need a way to become brave. And those requests for council support are going away. Come on, hurry up with this claim. I'd like to get this, you know, before I'm old, if you don't mind. It's a shame, unlike EU4, where you can fabricate several claims at once, you can't do that here. It would be nice if we could go and grab Cremona, just so we could link up with Lombardy. Let's go carousing again. Now, who are you owned by? You are just owned by this random count. You're part of the Duchy of Lombardy, who is actually owned by my liege, so that makes life difficult. Lots of peasants have been moving to the county of Pisa lately. Your steward suggests building new roads in order to make it easier for the peasants to reach the central holdings. He insists that doing so, the county would become more prosperous. It's only 18 gold? Sure. This is our physician. He's published the results of his medical investigations. The book has not received any notable attention, but at least he's developed his skills as a physician. He gains 1 learning. Very good. Let's go ahead and see if we can build anything in our holdings. What about hospitals? Can we do any upgrades in these? We did have a few in our sort of home counties. We are sort of waiting for the tech to spread so we can build anything more useful. But let's go ahead Go ahead and have a look at the holdings. What I'd quite like to do, and I can't remember which one of these is retinue size, training grounds. I think they're the only ones that increase retinue size. Tax income's always good. Let's get some training grounds because I want to be able to get a retinue. Getting a retinue would really help us out. This requires castle walls 2, which we can't build yet because we don't have the tech. Let's go for the heavy infantry then. Just trying to spend this money to increase some of my holdings. Do we have castle walls 2? No. Don't want to get the shipyard. Let's go for the barracks 2. Just trying to increase the size of my army essentially. But yeah, getting a retinue is really nice. If you're new to Crusader Kings 2, there's basically 3 types of units you can have, or 3 types of army. So you've got your normal army levies, which is the men that live within your realm. Now, some of it is from the domain, which it means it's your own men. Those are the men that directly are from your counties and your duchies. They are your direct men. And then you've got the levy from your vassals, which basically is the men that have sworn fealty to you, but they're not your men, they're your vassals' men. But they're your normal army levies, which you can raise. You don't pay any maintenance for your vassals' levies, but raising them does cause you to get a opinion malice with those vassals. However, if you are defending in a war, then you don't get that. Your own levies you do pay for. Then you've got mercenaries. Mercenaries are basically troops for hire, which cost you a one-off fee to hire and then a monthly cost. So if you've got a lot of money, it's a good way to get a decent a decent chunk of an army. I think it does cost more to reinforce them. They usually come with their own commanders, which are usually quite good. The downside is if you ever actually run out of money while you have a mercenary band hired, there's a good chance that they will actually turn against you. There are also holy orders. Holy orders pretty much work the same way that mercenaries do, but they're used for fighting in religious wars. They'll actually fight for free in a religious war. So I always group holy orders in with mercenaries. They're just a different type of mercenary. And then the third type is retinues, and a retinue is basically a standing army. So you pay to hire them and you pay to maintain them, but they're not levies that you raise and lower. These are actually a dedicated army that is always on standby. So we want to have enough of a retinue cap. It goes by this number here. It's primarily based on your holdings, but also partly from technology. We don't have a big enough cap to actually hire any of the retinues right now. So that's what we are waiting for. Wife is pregnant again. She's really been popping out some babies. How many children has she had? Oh, you've only had the 2. Obviously, this is a different wife. We've become best friends with a random count and the Chancellor of Lombardy and the Seneschal of Lombardy. That's quite interesting. So I've noticed recently over the last couple of weeks, well, probably the last week actually, there's been a lot of people again visiting my tutorial videos for EU4 and CK2. And this often happens around when there's a Steam sale on or when there's a Paradox sale on, because CK2 and EU4 go on sale. People buy it and then go looking for videos on, you know, sort of how to get started, because it is quite a complicated game. So I've been seeing quite a lot of traffic, more than usual, to those videos. And I went back and had a look at my sort of tutorial videos for CK2. They are quite dated now because, I still don't claim to fully understand how everything in the game works, or probably even half of it. And there's been a lot of patches and... oh, don't let me be a lunatic again. There's been a lot of patches and a lot of updates, DLCs and things since I did those videos. But one thing that I did notice was when I was playing back then, it was far more important to get all of your vassals to like you. It is still important now, because obviously it does affect the amount of levy that you get, and it affects the amount of taxes that you get. And also, you know, the more your vassals like you, the more likely they are to support you, and less likely they are to plot against you and get involved in factions and stuff like that. But Paradox have actually made it harder to make your vassals like you. So most of the honorary titles you can hand out, which I used to always hand out to everyone because they were worth 10 to 15 opinion, now they're only worth 5 in most cases. I don't even bother handing half of them out. And also prestige. You used to get 1 point of approval for every 100 prestige. Now it's only half a point of approval. So they've really nerfed the amount of the ease it is to get vassals to like you. Again, even your, I think it's state diplomacy, you used to get half of that as vassal opinion. Now you only get like a quarter of it or something like that. So they really have, you know, reduced it right down. But it doesn't seem nearly as important now to have them all like you. Oh, brilliant. The feeling of being watched and followed seemed to have disappeared overnight. We now lose the trait Paranoid. If only we can lose the trait Craven. What's going on here? Righteous imprisonment. This is on our steward. So, what has he done? He seeks to kill William. So you want to kill my my son, do you? Well, okay, let's go ahead and arrest you. Thank you very much. Now we have an open council position for a steward. Well, you're the next high steward, and you are a powerful vassal. Some more prestige. We've caught you. Let's just pause that up and make sure that we go and get you collecting taxes there. See, if you plot, I will find out. But you're actually now... It says you're a threat. You're a faction leader. We've got 2 prisoners, which we could actually probably... Well, we could ransom you out. Get 70 gold back from you. And we can ransom you off as well for 10 gold. We've got a known plot. This is somebody trying to kill some random duchess. I don't really care about that. So we will let that play on. You've given back some money. And we can sort of play a game. Played for hours. I'll get you next time. We didn't win. But I'm going to pause there. And that is because we've gone well over the 20-minute mark. So I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you're still enjoying Crusader Kings 2. And until next time, goodbye for now.